Hello and welcome back to another model lighting video. This time I show you how to do that with the Bandai 1/12 scale R2-D2. Let's start with the two big lenses on the front and back side of the head. As you can see, I've drilled two 3mm holes to fit this acrylic glass stick in there. I mushroomed the tip of it, like I normally do with the fiber optics, and cut two identical pieces of this stick, one for each of the lenses. Here you can see the two spots where I've installed the acrylic glass stick. For the next step I need the 0.25mm drill bit again that I've already used for the lighting of the BB-8. I need it again to drill holes for really small fiber optics. In this case I want to use the fiber optics to light up the three, let's call them pixel bays, on R2's head. I've drilled 6 holes for each of the smaller bays on front of the head and 12 holes for the bigger pixel bay on the back side of the head. And again, I needed to remove some plastic on the inside of the head to get a better access to my fiber optics. Here you can see where I've removed the plastic. To simulate the small pixels of these pixel bays, I've used 0.25mm fiber optics. And again, I've mushroomed all the tips of the optics and painted them with colors from the Vallejo transparent color range. I've used red and green for the bigger pixel bay on the back side of the head, and blue and unpainted fiber optics for the smaller pixel bays on the front of the head. And at the end of the installation, I glued them in with white glue. This is how R2 looks after the installation of all the fiber optics. Because I needed to install the LEDs and SMDs on the inside of the model this time, I need to find a way to fit the wires through the body. The easiest way to do that with this already assembled R2 is to fit all the wires through the middle leg. To do that, I've drilled 3 holes, one on top of the leg, another one on the underside of the leg, and one on the underside of the foot. Here you can see the exact spots where I've drilled the holes. If you drill the channel through the leg, be careful. Make sure that you don't cut all the connectors. Otherwise the leg loses its stability. It's a little bit tricky, but if you want to make sure that you don't damage your model, check the installation guide. That makes it much easier to find the connecting points. As you can see here, I've drilled the channel not directly in the middle of the leg. Because I've removed the bottom blade of R2's middle foot, I have to drill a separate hole into this piece too. Okay, now it's time to fit the first wires through R2's body. That's much easier if you push a drinking straw in the channel that you drilled through the leg. Before you can install the lights now, you have to remove the center of the part C115. It has to look like this before you can go to the next step. Now it's time to install the SMDs and the LED. It's a blue and a red SMD for the front lens and a yellow and a green SMD for the back lens. I figured out that hot glue is most efficient to fix the SMDs on the tip of the acrylic glass sticks. I've put a drop of glue onto the tip of the stick and pressed the SMDs in. After that, I hooked them up to the blinking unit. This unit has two channels. That means I have to connect the red SMD from the front and the yellow SMD from the backside to one of the channels, and the blue SMD from the front and the green one from the backside to the other one. The blue and the green SMD need a 300 ohm resistor, and the red and the yellow SMD need a 360 ohm resistor. Here you can see how I've glued the SMDs onto the acrylic glass sticks. After that, I pulled all the cables through R2's leg and through his foot. This is the backside of R2's foot. All the cables are totally hidden if you put him in display position. I used hot glue again to connect the LED with the fiber optics. This time it's a 5mm white flickering LED with a 300 ohm resistor. For the whole wiring I've used lacquered copper wire. This stuff is really thin and perfect for model lighting. To make it easier to connect the wires with these little plugs I've used, I've soldered it to a little piece of normal electric wire. You can see all the lights start blinking as soon as I connect them to the electronics. This is my electronic board for R2. There we have the little power supply board, which is connected to the battery, to the blinking unit and to the flickering LED. Then the blinking unit itself, that is connected to the second board with all the SMDs. And everything's hooked up to a 9-volt block. Okay, if everything works, it's time to hide the cables and attach the head now. This is R2 with a complete light installation. As you can see here, it's necessary to do some light blocking on the inside. But that's no problem. I've used the tulip slick again. It's the perfect stuff for light blocking. These are the spots where I've used the tulip for light blocking. So that's it, the light installation is done. I have to do some more additional weathering before this model is finished. When I started building this model, I decided to design him very dirty. So I applied a couple of different washes to simulate rust, dirt and dust from standing in a hangar for ages. Then right before I started the lighting, I decided to repaint all the blue panels with Vallejo Model Air's metallic blue. So what I have to do now is add a little bit more weathering to the new painted parts to make it look correct. First of all, I've added a few more streaks with dry brushing dark brown oil paint over the dome. While I was weathering R2, I noticed that I have to make sure that no one can pull out the wires. So I decided to use some hot glue again to fix the wires before they're coming out of the foot. After that, I fixed the additional weathering with a clear coat. I've used AK Interactive True Metal to dry brush over some edges of the model to give the blue parts a little bit of a damaged look. To finish the weathering, I've mixed some weathering powders with Humbrol Decal Fix and water to get some kind of a wash that I can apply over the oil streaks to give it a more realistic look. I was working with 3 different colors of weathering powder to apply an interesting and realistic look. I've used the colors Burnt Umber, Rust and Sand. When I was happy with the look, I protect everything with a clear varnish. And that's it, R2 is finished now. I hope this video was interesting and useful for you, and maybe inspire you to work on your own projects. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments or on Facebook or wherever you see this video. So thanks for watching and hopefully I see you soon. Bye!